Hey everyone, it's Joy here for HoneyBee Stamps. I have a really cute little card for you today in the color of green because HoneyBee Stamps is celebrating Green Week this week. So I'm starting with the Sweet Spring Mice, and I've got that little mouse holding the 4-leaf clover. I'm going to stamp him 3 times. I only want one of the mice, but I do want 2 more of those 4-leaf clovers. So I'm stamping that in black ink. My original thought was to do no line coloring, but then I changed my mind. So we're going to be coloring with Copic markers, and I'm just going to show you the mouse and the 4-leaf clover, and then I will color the other 4-leaf clovers off camera. So for the cute little mouse, I'm going to do W5, 3, and 1, and then R20 is going to be like for the cheeks and the inside of his ears. So I'm coming in with my darkest marker, which is the W5. I'm adding the shadows, then I'm coming in with W3, which is like the middle color, and blending out a little bit further. And then the W1 is going to be for the rest of the areas and kind of blending everything together. So he's got that light little face and a light little belly. And I'm going to go through this step one more time. I like to do it twice. For me, I feel like I get a really good blend, but I think everyone just kind of colors how they like to color. So you do not have to do it twice. There is no rules with that. So again, using the W5 for the shadow, the W3 to blend that out a little bit more, and then coming back in with that W1 to add that lighter part to his face and his belly, and then W3 and 5 for his cute little muzzle, his little nose. I don't know, do you call it a muzzle on a mouse? Okay, so R20 for inside of the ears, and a little bit of the W1 kind of at the base there, and just to kind of soften that pink a little bit because it's just so pink. Then I'm just adding a little bit of shadow and shading with that. Then I'm going to do this clover. Oh, I did the R20 for the cheeks too. The clover is G29 for that darkest. I'm going to keep that at the bottom part of the leaves or petals. I don't know what you would call it. G17 for the middle color. And I'm just kind of flicking outward. And then G05 for the rest of it. And I'm going to go through this again one more time. And then I will color the other 3 clovers exactly the same. I will be using some the coordinating die to die cut out that cute little mouse. And then I'm just going to fussy cut the other 2 4-leaf clovers. So here is the coordinating die. I'm going to tape that in place with some low-tack tape, run that through my die cut machine. And you can see the dies over there are not attached to each other, which is nice. And you have the little outline so you know exactly where to put your die back. HoneyBee Stamps is pretty fabulous that way. And then here is the fussy cutting, which I'll be honest is not my favorite thing to do at all. But this was a pretty simple image to fussy cut, so not a big deal. But I'm cutting right on the black line, and I'm going to do that for both. And then I'm going to come in with a black marker and then just take that around the edges to kind of get rid of that white line. Not that it's a big deal, but I think when you cut on the black stamped image line, you kind of need to do this with a black pen. Now on a piece of white cardstock, I'm using some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. I am going to be doing some ink blending with 3 colors of green inks, and I want the lightest color in the center, and then I'm working my way out with the other 2 colors. So lightest in the center, medium on the outside, and then darkest on the very outside end. I want to use the Spring Leaves A2 die, which is like a piercing die, on this really bright green background. I thought that that would be a lot of fun. Of course, we're celebrating Green Week for HoneyBee Stamps. And so I thought this would be a lot of fun, and to bring in the flowers, or excuse me, the leaves on that A2 die is really fantastic. So I'm just going to finish ink blending this together. Then I'm going to get that A2 size die. I'm going to tape that in place and run that through the die cut machine. Then I'm going to use the Deckle edge die because I do want this to have a fun decorative edge, and I love the Deckle edge dies. I think they are just a blast. Oh, I did also spray that really quick with my distress sprayer and just patted it with a dry towel. Here is that Spring Leaves A2 die. I'm just going to run that through my die cut machine, and it's going to pierce all of those nice little leaves. Then the Deckle edge die. I think this is the second largest one. I'm going to tape that, center that right in the center, and just tape it in place and run that through. And then I'm going to die cut with the largest deckle edge frame. From the patterned paper, this is the Gingham Galore Spring, and I'm doing that really light green. And then with one of the smaller deckle edge dies, I am die cutting from some vellum. Then we're going to get this put together real quick. In the Misty, I'm going to do some white heat embossing on that piece of vellum. I'm using the My Favorite Flower stamp set. I'm not using the coordinating die, obviously. And the sentiment says, "Picked just for you." And I'm going to prep that with a powder tool. I'm inking it up with HoneyBee Stamps clear embossing ink. And then I'm going to sprinkle on the white embossing powder and then heat that with my heat tool. I did heat my heat tool up a lot because I don't want my vellum to warp at all. So my heat gun's been going since I first started stamping this sentiment. Once that is dry, I'm just going to gently buff off that powder. So now let's get this put together. I'm going to adhere the one 4-leaf clover behind the mouse, and then the other one is going to be in front of the mouse. And the reason why I decided to do vellum behind that green background, because if I laid the mouse and these 4-leaf clovers directly on that bright green background, you're not going to notice it as much. So if I just kind of diffuse that with the vellum, that works fantastic. I am going to pop the vellum up with some foam tape, and I'm just hiding that behind my stamped or my die cut images. And I'm going to pop that up in the center, and then the other dark green piece will be adhered to the patterned paper piece. And then this will be adhered to a white A2 size card base. Now I do want to add a few details to this card. So I'm going to bring in my black glaze pen and my white gel pen. The black glaze pen for the eyes and the nose. The white gel pen will also be on the eyes once that black glaze pen dries. But I'm going to add some highlight areas to the 4-leaf clovers and then some little dots to the eyes on the mouse. Then I want to bring in some really cute Be Mine clay hearts, and I want to add those to the centers of the 4-leaf clovers and then add a few white hearts around. And I just thought that this really kind of, I don't know, leveled it up. That's the word I want to use. And I just think it is so cute with those hearts right in the center. I think it kind of mimics the 4-leaf clover. You could do 4 of those hearts, one on, kind of at the base of each one of the leaves of the 4-leaf clover, if that makes sense. And that would be really cute too. But this card is completely finished and it's so, so cute. I hope that you and guys enjoyed this project, and I want to thank you so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're enjoying Green Week with HoneyBee Stamps. They're always so much fun with the things that they come up with. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.